Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. And I'm sorry, I should have done an election special for the UK election. But as I was saying on the run-up to the whole thing, it's a foregone conclusion. You know, there's no way that the Tories aren't going to win. It's not even close. And then by the time I realised that, oh, hang on a minute, the Tories could lose this, it's all got very close very suddenly. I was starting to look for replays. That was like a day or two before the election, and unfortunately I just didn't want to bin it on some run-of-the-mill average crappy canis that was half an hour long, and that was all I had at the time. So yeah, I didn't do it in the end, so apologies there. But in a way, it's almost like I got it right, if you know what I mean, because there wasn't an outright winner. For those of you that don't live in the UK, haven't followed it, it was a hung parliament. No one got a majority. So by me not actually doing a cast, it's kind of like there was no winner. So I'm sort of claiming it. No, you're right. That's rubbish. But you know what I mean. We'll carry on with them in the future when more exciting things happen. Today, we've got pro level ladder, because why not? We have not had one for a long time. It is beyond time to have some time with the time of the pros, with the time of their lives on Open Waters version 2. I'm ready, you guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how we're going to get on. I haven't had my coffee today. I'm very tired. So if I'm sounding like a bit of a loon, that would be why. Don't ask me why it happens, it just does. Anyway, let's take a look at our players for today's game. Up here at the top left in the blue corner, we have none other than the one, the only, the quintessential Crazed Chariot, going his very customary UEF there, opening first land. And next up, down at the bottom in the red corner, it's none other than SilentNoob, also going UEF, so it's a UEF mirror matchup. And of course, that means after this is over, I shall be vigorously rubbing linseed oil into my triceps. And he is opening first land, and as it happens, it would seem from my limited understanding of what's going on in the community at the moment with the latest balance patches and everything, everybody is going UEF now in in the ladder matches, like everyone. And I don't really know why that is. A few people have given me some very tentative explanations, but it's not great. Oh, I'm really sorry as well. You guys like to do the thing with the thing. You like to watch the opens on ladder matches. That's how long it's been since we did a ladder. I've completely forgotten my process there. So there you go. You can see the opening start. So they opened up, and Crazed Chariot didn't go for any P-gens at all. He just went yada yada. Let's get that. Let's get the mass extractors after the factory, and then we'll go straight for the hydro. And we'll see how he's getting on there. He's got 290 power left. It's going to be close, but I'm guessing he won't power lock himself. Not a magician as well versed in the arts of SOPCOM as saying, oh, got down to the 90s. That's about as close as it gets before you get yourself in trouble right there. But very finely balanced. But there you go. That does work on open waters. You can start with mexes only, no T1 P-gens, anything like that, and then go straight for the hydro. SilentNoob took a slightly more conventional approach. It looked like he bothered to build at least one P-gen, and he hooked that up to one of the mass extractors to reduce power need consumption there. And also, of course, the Mex is providing an adjacency bonus there to the land factory as well. So that's where he's going. They're both going first land, second air, and then Navy all day, it would seem, is the order of business after that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't even remember what I was talking about before I got into home, did something. Yeah, so basically it would seem that everybody's going UEF, and I don't really understand it. I don't understand the minutiae of the balance. I think it has something to do with the changes, or proposed changes, whichever one it was, regarding the costs of T2 and all that, something like to do with that. And somehow everybody has stopped playing Cyberin and everyone's playing UEF. Now, I'm sure you would start to think that I would come out and say it's marvellous, and you're right, that's the sort of word I would use, but I'm not going to say it, because I think variation is the key. The ultimate goal of balance is to have as many ladder matches as possible using different races. So keep at work, boys. Balance the game. as only you can, because I don't know how to do it. So a little kerfuffle in the air above Crazed Chariot's base there with the interceptors. Seems to have gone slightly better on initial casualty numbers from the limited amount of attention I was paying there to SilentNoob, but it's hard to tell. I'm sure a bunch of you will criticize me in the comments for that. The first transport is away, and that's for SilentNoob, heading to the top right hand corner with what looks like 6 NGs on board. Heading up there, we'll take a look at the drop-off locations. One on the starting location there. I'm sure he'll set some more up. There we go. Pointed up there further north for the other drop-off locations to expand quickly. We must be about to get a counter drop there. Yes, we are. That's from Crazed Chariot, but he's going for the other island. So both of these guys setting up nicely. That's been scouted, though, by a convenient flyby. Will Silent dispatch anything to intercept? He hasn't got anything on the cards, really. One inti down here, another one, actually. 2 of them, but they're way out of position to stop that drop. Those NGs should be safe, and he's doing a similar maneuver onto the 2 starting locations. Well, actually, he is dispatching them now. Wondering if he'll manage to intercept before that transport hits that second drop-off location. Meanwhile, a couple of intis out for Crazed Chariot, circling over at the eastern edge of the map. Missed the transports, flying right past them as we speak. And of course, intis out there late for SilentNoob. Thought he had more time than he did in reality, so more NGs being dropped off successfully this time from Crazed Chariot. Down at the bottom of the map, both of these guys setting up nicely. ACUs are on the move. Interesting. So Crazed Chariot looks like he's heading to the center. Interesting. Whereas Silent is going to take on this bottom location here, which ACU versus a couple of engineers, you would expect that to be a win for the ACU. So if things progress as we expect them to, if both of these ACUs hold their nerve, then it could look like Crazed Chariot grasping the central island, the top landmass falling to SilentNoob, and potentially a fight between Crazed Chariot and the bottom against SilentNoob for control of that landmass. SilentNoob just about to emerge out of the water now with the ACU. Looks like he might be about to pick up a Mex. Yes, he is. And good anticipation there from Crazed Chariot. Already working on some T1 PDs. SilentNoob would do well to throw down a land factory here. Let's get that mini-map back up that we disabled earlier. There we go. T1 bomber out for Silent. Looking to pick up some engineer kills here potentially. Could really disrupt things with work on the hydro. But Inti's already locked onto that for Crazed Chariot, so I doubt he's going to get much work done there. Silent is going to run headfirst into one T1 PD. The second one is nearly completed, and that will open up on him as well. And surely that will push Silent out of range. Well, actually, he's going to chill and hoover up some rocks first. It's that pattering on the outside of your shell is, in fact, gunfire, Silent. That's not heavy rain. It's nonchalant kind of ACU commanding there. Crazed Chariot, meanwhile, heading to the other edge of that central island and his discovered Silent's T1 land factory. He's going to go and scoop that up, absorb some striker fire. Won't worry about that too much. Not a huge amount of damage from one T1 tank. He can absorb it and attempted an early deny, or at least an early bit of mischief making from Silent. Gets a frigate right in the bay here, and we actually haven't spoken much about the navies in this game so far. So we've got 3 naval yards online for Crazed Chariot, same for Silent, and slightly more naval units online for Crazed Chariot. 1 sub there for Silent, 1 frigate, compared to 4 frigates there for CC. He's going to need to get working on some subs as well, so we can hit back at SilentNoob with some underwater pressure. Quick drop of some NGs down the bottom there for Silent. Silent about to get a second land factory online. Already has spat out now 4 Lobos from the first, and they've been successful in taking down those 2 T1 point defenses in pretty quick order. We're going to see some subs on the way soon. Well, it doesn't look like he's working on any Tiger Sharks for the moment. Looks like it's all frigates but fortunately he's only got one sub to worry about. A quick torpedo launcher might not be a bad idea. Back to the center. Crazed Chariot has hoovered up that land factory, captured the mechs, and of course dispatched that tank. We do have another land factory on the way in the center for SilentNoob. Meanwhile, a large contingent of T1 forming here for Crazed Chariot at the foot of the breach there between the hills, leading between the two parts of that bottom landmass. Crazed Chariot is going to have to jam this area with as much T1 as is humanly possible in order to rebuke Silent's advances. Now he's got the ACU in the area. Sure, he's got access to overcharge. Well, actually he doesn't yet, so he's going to need to build some energy storage pretty sharpish. He wants to make good on this advance, take full advantage of the presence of his ACU. Crazed Chariot actually heading out into the water slide. He's going to throw down a T1 torpedo launcher just for the lols, cause some problems for Silent as those boats come out into the open waters. See what I did there? Flyby up at the top has caught a couple of transports laden with Lobos. That's a very nice snag by Crazed Chariot. Potential drop, or an expectant or impending drop on the cards for Silent. Killed off before those things have even been dispatched. Good work there from CC. Silent now moving forward. Do we have overcharge yet? No, we don't. Still operating just off that main gun and absorbing lots of fire down into the yellow. 8,000 hit points and falling. In he comes with his own reinforcements, smaller in number. I'm sure we'll be seeing some overcharges soon. Seems to be handling things just about all right for the time being. 5,400 HP left. Crazed Chariot not engaging with all of his forces, happy to sit further back. He's going to lose a land factory to the Lobo fire that's coming in from the right. If you look on the mini-map, you can see Crazed Chariot is finishing off some of the structures in the center with his commander. Vitally important, though, for the strategy that Crazed Chariot has gone for, that he at least gets some kind of naval control or naval dominance so that he can protect the central island. Otherwise he's going to find himself at a significant mass deficit. Crazed Chariot doesn't kill off, doesn't reclaim, instead captures that T1 PD, significantly increasing his firepower in the area. T1 bombers harassing that ACU. Crazed Chariot down to 5,700 HP on the comm. Take a quick look at naval unit numbers, because this is going to be crucial, make no mistakes. We've got 9 frigates there, 2 submarines for Silent. Compare that to 14 frigates of Crazed Chariot and no subs, it would seem, unless I've missed 1 or 2. Crazed Chariot trying to get a railgun online to shoo these T1 bombers away. And he's also dropped back through the breach there with his T1. Silent pushing onwards, though not with his ACU. His ACU sustained some damage. He's down to around 6,000 hit points. He's going to get the T2 upgrade. It's going to allow him to lock down that breach. Maybe extend it with a PD creep, and of course, most importantly, in this current situation, throw a whole bunch of HP back onto the commander. Those T1 bombers seem to be focusing on the commander now. They've dropped back and are targeting the torpedo launcher there. Say no to trolls. So rather than waste any time on T1 sub-production, looks like Crazed Chariot has gone straight for T2. Has a couple of Coopers, those torpedo boats, out in the water. They will be more than a match for the Tiger Sharks. Those Tiger Sharks get in range, of course. All the while, it's all very quiet up here at the top. Silent can focus his energies on the naval game and, of course, the ground combat taking place over at the bottom of the screen. One engineer trying to get the T1 PD online, but Lobos for Crazed Chariot put an end to that. That T2 upgrade nearly complete. SilentNoob now has access to overcharge. I say that though, he's capped on power while he's doing this upgrade. I'm sure that will rectify itself as soon as it's completed. And then we can start to see the game really taking shape, and I would be very surprised if Silent doesn't manage to conquer this whole landmass. Another naval yard in operation now over here for Crazed Chariot, who is very much putting more energy and resources into his naval production. Of course, Navy on open waters, absolutely crucial. Crazed Chariot poising to strike with his forces in the background, now equipped with T2 weaponry, the odd destroyer, a couple of Coopers in there. SilentNoob rolling forward once again, trying to get a radar online in quite an ambitious place. Actually looked like a T2 radar, and there we go with some overcharges, so he should be able to mop this up in pretty good time. Maybe get a few more ranks in veterancy for his trouble. There goes a T1 and a T2 PD, a triad there to lock that area down. Crazed Chariot is either going to have to support it from elsewhere, that bottom landmass, or evac. Fighter engagement, interceptor engagement up here at the top, and SilentNoob with a massive air advantage, it has to be said. Very little going on in the air game. In fact, Air Factory producing nothing for Crazed Chariot right now. Everything is about the naval game. He's in control of the central island. He's about to lose the bottom landmass, and SilentNoob with a 12-point mass advantage at the 15.5-minute mark in this game. Janus out there for Silent, gets shot down. This is definitely scary stuff if you're rooting for the red guy. Torpedo bombers out. They'll be focusing on the T2 vessels, I'm sure. Going straight after that Valiant. Takes it down into the yellow. 4,800 HP left. Interceptor swirling overhead to try and absorb some of that anti-aircraft firepower. Give those torpedo bombers more of a chance. SilentNoob down at the bottom. One triad online, second one on the way. Sorry, third triad on the way. Two online. Should be relatively easy to conquer that now, but I would be very worried if I were he about the state of affairs at my base. But nice little drop onto the main island. Lobos taking out mass extractors. One transport destroyed en route. It looks like most of the units might have made landfall, and now targeting core T2 mass potentially here. Engineers rolling up to reclaim. That's some gutsy civilian action right there. Lobo insurgents, or engineer insurgents rather. Lobos under pressure. Another little drop. Seems like they've left a few tanks at home. Just 3 of them on board, but potentially inbound at an inopportune moment there for Crazed Chariot. And actually, that naval pressure might not have been enough to break Silent. Ultimately, he's still got 4 of the 5 naval yards that he had online. One of them very badly damaged now on 390 HP. But he will be very happy to bag the bottom landmass. all of its associated resources, and now we're starting to see governors out on the field as well. That's going to significantly reduce the effectiveness of those torpedo bombers and give Crazed Chariot the ability to strike much further inland. Seems like he lost a lot of vessels. It looked like he was a shoo-in to wipe out the Navy and those naval yards and trap SilentNoob into landlubber mentality. But Silent holding on for the time being. All the while, though, this fleet's getting chunkier. Bulwark ship out now. Still no T2 tech for Silent. He's about 30% away from completing a T2 naval HQ. Question is, does he have the time left? Now, 2 governor class cruisers in range of the bottom isle. Almost 20 minutes gone in this one. Crazed Chariot still on that center landmass with his comm, but it looks like he might be heading back now. Oh, just heading into the water. Silent is going to have to keep his interceptors away from those cruisers, and they are all bingo on fuel, more or less. I have to build a few air staging pads. And this could be the attack that ends Silent's naval presence in this game. Not looking good on that side of things. Crazed Chariot almost on him in terms of eco, 55 to 58. And if SilentNoob loses the main island, already building up the tactical missile defenses. So buzzkills going up on the shorelines. Silent's completed a T2 HQ. Will he get to keep it? Will he get one destroyer out before it goes pop? Wouldn't hurt Crazed Chariot right now to prioritize that target. It's about to spit one out. Much easier to deal with this base. If it doesn't get it online, it does complete. But he makes short work of it. So interesting game dynamic here. Silent's trying to resurrect his shipyards in a different location here, right at the bottom of the screen. Crazed Chariot's going to have to keep on his toes, scout thoroughly to make sure Silent doesn't get back in it on that side of things. Meanwhile, attacking Crazed Chariot with some Janus firepower over here. He's going to be successful in taking out the T2 naval headquarters. Very nicely played there from Silent. Another drop in at the edge of the island here. So Silent still playing to his strength, still going on the offensive. And Lobos, 2 of them making a royal nuisance of themselves. Frigate fire unable to effectively reach them. And what's interesting as well, we saw the upgrade complete, their tactical missile upgrade for SilentNoob, and he is firing missiles off over towards the main island of Crazed Chariot. There goes a T2 Mex. And Crazed Chariot, after that latest drop, look at that, he's not capped on power. He's producing 23 mass per tick. Those are actual figures. Silent, by contrast, is on 105. Massive, more than 4-to-1 advantage on eco. So this might look hairy for Silent right now, but he's got to be happy about that. I mean, maybe he's not aware of just how far ahead he is. Certainly when stuff like this is happening, it's hard to be objective about it when it's happening to you. He now has the top right corner, the bottom left corner, and Crazed Chariot will be confined to the center of the map. Still all T1 mechs is in the middle. No NGs around to assist with upgrades. Has he completed or has he started work on a new T2 headquarters yet? Well, doesn't look like it. Another drop, this time onto the other side of the island. Rail guns open up. Transport doesn't get out of there. That's going to die. Just like Beggar's Canyon back home. Out he goes. Strikers on the ground. Take a long time to chew through those structural hit points compared to the artillery. But of course, much better at countering units on the ground. There goes T2 mechs. There goes the engineers with their heroic insurgency trying to counter those with a bit of reclaim. One governor or two governors left parked in the bay there while the other ships go looking for the inevitable naval expansion or naval restart there by SilentNoob, who, to his credits, managed to get a T2 naval yard online. But it's not going to be enough. That has been scouted and it's about to be destroyed, and that's a lot of resources of Silence that have been used up trying to get this set of facilities going, and he's going to lose all those engineers as well. It's a lot of build capacity right there. Tactical or cruise missiles rather going to work on the structures in the main base. Will they get a second destroyer out? I don't think it's going to make a difference even if they do. Having seen how quickly that one was dispatched in the bay. Too many vessels for Crazed Chariot. There it goes. There goes the naval headquarters. And once again, Silent is rendered navalless or without naval. It's a strange image for you. Another drop that doesn't seem to know where it's going, parked up at the top for Silent, just coming in with a different angle. Just really want to land one in here, surely. Engineers working on a T1 PD. And they're in the perfect position to scoop up those Lobos as soon as they land. They finish the PD, and then there goes the transport that forgot to return to base. But still, just look at the eco disparity. Well over 2-to-1 in favor of Silent. 115 to 47, 3.2k power to 680. But as long as Crazed Chariot keeps Silent locked out of the naval game, I'm not sure how much there is he could do. Funnily enough, talking earlier about how everyone's going UEF, Silent might have been able to get out of this situation if he was playing another race. Get together the mass for decent experimental that could pop up somewhere. Really, he's got to be thinking about getting some T3 land on the go and getting some Percival somewhere sensitive. He's got no hope of eradicating the Navy from the skies. Silent trying it again down at the bottom right. Not sure whether these engineers are veterans from the last naval attack or whether They've recently been airdropped to that bottom right-hand corner, but Crazed Chariot has taken a long time to chew through that main base down here, but now going after T2 Gen. What will this do to Silent's power grid? Well, could cause one or two problems. Leaves him just about power locked. I'm sure he'll adjust that. It's a minor deficit. SilentNoob, though, caught on the hop down here. Now his saving grace is that most of these are frigates and torpedo-less, so he'll be able to get his commander out, although it might take a little bit of fire when it first emerges outside of the waves. Gets a tactical missile off, it would seem, but I think it missed. It was going for one of the boats, one of the T2 boats. I think that splashed down into the water for no effect. There goes another missile, and again, no joy. And SilentNoob trying to get things going in the naval game at both corners of the map now, top left and bottom right. 6 naval yards online, so he's trying to pump them out as quickly as possible, trying to go mass T1, 6 up there, soon to be 5 down here at the bottom. Crazed Chariot onto the threat in the northwest, at least, it would seem. What's his intel like? Well, it's already been scouted, so he can see the danger. Going up to intercept it. And Silent, he's doing alright for power, but Crazed Chariot is power locked at the moment. So 48 mass, not necessarily representative of where he's at eco-wise. Good, solid scouting, good work from Crazed Chariot. All you'd really want to do when you have this kind of naval supremacy is sit off your opponent's largest base and pound it to dust, but it's a great way to lose your advantage. Massive Janus strike, though, from SilentNoob, going after the resurrected T2 Naval HQ there of Crazed Chariot, and they will get that kill. They'll lose a lot of Janus in the process. There's one cruiser down here picking them off almost as quickly as they come in. Now they're going after Crazed Chariot's ACU, or actually more relevantly, the area that the ACU is standing next to the power gens. That's actually their priority target. Just as they deplete the shield, though, the last Janus falls from the sky. Good defensive work from CC. Another 3 Janus coming in. 4, sorry, a 5th circling over there further to the east. Once again, focusing on the P-Gens. I just don't think they're going to be able to break it and kill the P-Gens. They're not going to breach that shield. There's too much anti-aircraft firepower in that area. Top left has been neutralized by Crazed Chariot's Navy. He was going to send in some desperate last-ditch T1 bombers to secure the kill as well, but the Janus fell too quickly, so they were returned. And in fact, there's 2 navies for Crazed Chariot now. They've been split up, and neither of them are insignificant in size. And once again, that threat in the bottom right has been taken care of. So Silent, no matter how hard he tries, no matter how big his mass lead, can't get re-established on the naval side of things. Crazed Chariot has locked him out completely. 109 now to 85. Crazed Chariot starting to close the gap. This is like my worst nightmare. If I was playing as Silent, just can't get back into the game. Janus strike over here, all encompassing, takes out just about everything. Look at that. Love the smell of napalm in the morning. Good bit of carpet bombing, takes out the engineers, takes half the HP off the land factory, and almost kills the PD. This one should kill. No, miss wide right, going after the mass pump instead. It's suppose he's not too worried about those last two T1P gens there in that area. There goes the mechs. And for the first time in the last 15 minutes or so, it seems like Silent isn't focusing on trying to get Navy re-established. He's going to have to alt attack, maybe go for a very, very heavy drop onto the main island and take that out. Trying to get as many T3 mexes up now as possible. T3 mexes, T2P gens, lots and lots of Lobos tooled up and ready to go. Loading more transports as we speak. Wondering if you should be investing in better land tech now. T1 bombers take out a T2 torpedo launcher in the center there, and actually another couple of naval yards online in the middle now for Crazed Chariot. Engineers emerging onto that bottom island for a takeover. On rogue Janus. And they get shot down at the bottom there. And actually that starting location up here, the last place of Crazed Chariots to fall in this game. Silent took it over but has now been ousted and has to sit back here. Now this is one of the limitations for the missile cruisers, or indeed any cruiser on this map. The mountain range in the center of the two land masses at each corner will afford you some pretty good cover from incoming fire. Load up TMD up here and down here, and you've got a pretty safe area to build on. Of course, that does mean that there's a lot of exposed mexes that can be got up here and down here. SilentNoob getting the RAS on his comm. I just honestly can't remember a game where one side was so significantly ahead on eco for so long and yet was powerless by nature of the map to do anything about the situation that they're in. He just can't get his nose in front, really. When you think about it, before Crazed Chariot managed to oust the Navy down here, all of this was red, all linked up. But here comes that drop we were expecting. Oh no! One of the Starlifters almost gets all of its Lobo contingent on the ground, but then they get nuked as they descend by the rail guns in the area. Crazed Chariot has pulled his commander to the other drop-off point over here on the other point of the horseshoe, if you will, and he's also surrounded this area with his frigates. Some of the fire, of course, blocked by the awkward table-like topography. But that is a very comfortable hold there for Crazed Chariot. In comes some Janus. Looked like they were coming in for a cheeky shot at Crazed Chariot's comm. Doesn't work out. 36 minutes gone now in this ladder match. Whole area up here has gone largely untouched for most of the game. SilentNoob completes his RAS. 139 mass now being produced. Crazed Chariot, after that last encounter, has lost a little bit of eco. It's a core mechs down there. Two fringe mexes here. Down to 53 mass per tick, so we're almost at a... Well, we were looking like we're almost at a 3-to-1 ratio in terms of mass production in favor of SilentNoob. SilentNoob having some power issues. What is he producing? Well, there's a strap bomber flying off the production line there, so that's probably got something to do with it. Guy needs to get a T3 reactor online if he's going to commit to T3 air production in any significant fashion. And interestingly enough, Crazed Chariot still hasn't managed to completely oust Silent from this other starting location over here. We've got a few T1 PDs, 3 of them to be precise, a couple of air factories, and actually engineers expanding out of this base. But I do get the feeling it's only a matter of time before Crazed Chariot knocks him off here. But SilentNoob is just... I'm not sure I could think of any better strategy right now. I mean, it seems like ever since his naval yards were so resoundingly rebuffed and he was locked out of the naval game, it seems like he's almost out of ideas. Here comes the fusion reactor, another one queued up there as well. Very strange game, this one. Lobo's taking on those forward defenses of the last remnant in this starting location for SilentNoob. Now, once again, Crazed Chariot redirecting his focus to the landmass down here. SilentNoob actually bothering to expand back onto that other starting location up here. Sure, that was entirely worth it. I would imagine that would be knocked down pretty sharpish. How on earth did those submarines come from? 2 submarines, 2 Tiger Sharks belonging to SilentNoob. I didn't see a naval yard pop up anywhere. Another massive Janus push. They're going to catch the edge of a governor's range. 1 or 2 fighter bombers are going to get shot down there as they do so. Where is he going? He seems determined to take out the power grids. How many Janus will be left by the time they get in range? That's the question. There go the bombs. And they all impact, not even on the main shield. They mostly impact on that bulwark ship, shield boat over there. And all the Januses get shot down. But there's a strap bomber. Oh, and that will connect. 1 P-gen down, another badly damaged. There goes the second one from the second strap bomber. And will they pick off a third? Yes, they will. So nicely done there by SilentNoob. And that has severely power locked Crazed Chariot. Knocks him down to just 29 mass per tick against 183. That is significant. But at the same time, he's now been ousted down here completely. I just don't see how he gets out of this situation. He's shut out of what is essentially about 60% of the entire map is water, and he can't engage on it. His one advantage that's in the air is getting reduced with every governor that sets sail. Honestly, don't see where he goes from here. Well, that could be one option. Nuke launcher queued up over here for this T3 engineer, no doubt waiting for these T1 lackeys to get out of the way. Don't you hate that? Uneducated T1 masses getting in the way. There we go. making solid progress there. Still, it's going to be a while before that completes. That's the problem, though. Crazed Chariot just isn't sustaining any casualties on this naval force whatsoever. SilentNoob, in fact, has to consistently avoid the Navy, otherwise he can't hit back with anything, because his only tool for hitting back right now is via airplay. Engineers being scooped up by a couple of star lifters there. Where are they headed? Once again, trying to get re-established. Unfortunate for him that there are NGs in the area belonging to Crazed Chariot, scooping up the wrecks from his old naval yards. Might not get noticed. They might finish scooping that and bug out. Could be hope for him yet, but I mean, how long does he have to have naval yards online to try and combat fleets of this size? Let's just take a look at numbers right now. So we're at 57 frigates, 9 governors, 3 shield boats, and there's a destroyer there, or a Cooper. 3 Coopers. Can't see any destroyers kicking about. There really hasn't been a lot of need for them now. And another group of engineers airlifted to the top left. So he's going for a similar attack once again, but patrols by Crazed Chariot are on hand to prevent. They're actually reclaiming at the moment. Needs to get mass Percival push, some kind of experimental together. His major hope has to be that he can complete this nuke. Nuke launch is complete, that he can complete the nuclear missile in it and cause major damage, maybe even pick off the commanders. Only a 10k map, so it's not a huge distance for it to travel from down here to Crazed Chariot's commander. That would have been a good time for it if he had one ready. Crazed Chariot's on upgrade. How's he doing with his power situation? Well, he is still power locked. That is insane. Of course, he's getting an upgrade on his commander. Let's have a look at, see what it is. Well, it's not showing me for some reason. Crazed Chariot has T2. This may be Raz to help sort out the power issue. No, that's T3. But even with that upgrade completed, he's still minus 667 net power production. So now he's separated 2 fleets, governors in each, and going after both top right, bottom left land masses simultaneously. Massive Janus squadron once again. Where is it headed? Going to try and pick off mass points maybe down here. So still really just a mass scooping mission for engineers down here. No queued up naval yards. Does Janus get their first volley of bombs away? Lots of potential casualties from the engineers. Oh, dear me. That is horrendous. Just horrendous. T2 mechs down. Whoa, and that one's nearly upgraded to T2 as well. Just 40 hit points left. Takes time for Crazed Chariot to respond, get those naval vessels in to combat Janus, and another drop from SilentNoob. Where's he going? Where is he going? He's trying to realign another approach on the main base. Starlifters fully laden of Lobos Will they make landfall? One of them down. Oh, two of them down. Oh, no. Oh, man. The amount of casualties that SilentNoob has sustained. Just brutal. 3 strats coming in from the south. What can he do here? Going after a T3 Mex, maybe. E-Gen didn't seem to drop any bombs there. That, yeah, I don't even know what the plan was there. How far away is this nuke? Well, still a ways off. It's about 33% complete. Long, slow, attritional game. Crazed Chariot trying to drill his opponent into the ground with governor spam. It's the only way he can really reach anything sensitive. Buzzkill's taking the edge off bit by bit. I think we can afford to bump this to +1, because Silent now is just, he's muted, he's castrated, if you will. There's little or nothing he can do in this situation. I mean, he's waiting on that nuke. I want to know why. I mean, I'm obviously probably missing something very essential. I'm sure I am, because these guys play at a much higher level than I did when I actually got to play the game many years ago. So I'm clearly missing something. But surely some kind of ground-based tech, get it onto the mainland and try and dish out some damage, something that can't just be overcharged or brushed aside by the presence of mass frigates dotted around the place. Just not sure why that wasn't the order of business. SilentNoob nearly has his nuke, and this is all of his chips are in this nuke now, pretty much. He's invested all of his resources in it, bar some Janus and some Strat Bomber expenditure. He's still got a few Janus online up here at the top, but after repeated failed attacks, it's just not worth sending them in on anything that isn't game-changing at this point. Crazed Chariot, who is still behind on eco. I've never seen anything like it. 149 to 197. SilentNoob has been ahead virtually the entire game, and not by small amounts, but by large, significant amounts that on any other map, on any other scenario, would mean Crazed Chariot would have been brushed aside.
Strategic launch detected.
And there goes the nuke. Now, where's he going? He's going after, I'm guessing, the commander. I'm guessing he wants to take down some naval yards. That T3 P-Gen. He was working on a strategic missile defense. Maybe he wants to kill off the SMD and hope to get another one in. Does manage to get everything that we thought. Crazed Chariot gets his commander out of the way. Suppose what is there elsewhere? That's the thing. Crazed Chariot is, he's not got a huge amount of clumped up stuff. He's not got some enormous eco that you can take out. He's fighting from behind in the eco stakes. He is mobile. He's virtually unkillable at this point. There's your screenshot of the week right there. Not of them taking out the mountainside, but just of the missiles going in the same direction or something. Gradually the buzzkills succumb to the missiles. Just can't repel that many governors. Again, everything pretty much is on nuke construction at this point. 52 minutes gone. Upper landmass under sustained assault. Unreal. Very, very bizarre game. 234 to 93. And there's nothing he could do it. He could have 100 more mass, 200 more mass, and you would think at this point it would make no difference. Take a paragon, it would seem, to get him out of this hole that he finds himself in. Dangerous scenario to get the two land masses at either side but lose the naval game. Very dangerous. Upgrading to T3 on his commander. Just nothing. There is literally nothing he can do. Governors all heading south now from the assault up at the top. At some point, Crazed Chariot is probably going to have to get involved in the land game himself, because he's going to have to say he's not going to be able to kill everything with governors. He physically can't get to the base because of the mountain range. Janus harassing that bottom starting location, SilentNoob's former starting base. So he's got another nuke in the clip there, ready to go as and when he decides to. T3 Mex is now under pressure. No matter how many buzz kills SilentNoob has, he cannot repel firepower of that magnitude. Those missiles just come careering in. Not the best TMDs, buzz kills. But even so, with that many, still can't keep the missiles out. Not even close to it either. So many still connecting with their targets. Shield blinking on at the last moment to save that T3 Mex. Oh my goodness! I thought they were safe! I thought they were safe! I told a lie! Those suckers can come right over the top! SilentNoob loses his nuke launcher with one unused nuke in the clip. And now, once again, it's completely powerless. He's building a second nuke launcher down here. But I'm not sure that that's out of range either. I don't think there's anything to stop Crazed Chariot now. Oh, my nuke is gone, says Silent. Yep. And he control K's his commander at the site. GG. Absolutely brutal attritional game from Crazed Chariot. And it just shows you pick the right map and the right situation and the right tactic, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you're behind. You don't have the map control. That was insane. Actually, I want to see. Is it going to... it won't show me, actually, a chance to go out and see the score anymore. I'm sure you used to be able to do that on replays, but... Oh, dearie me. It was absolutely brutal. It wasn't... I grant you, it wasn't the most active game. There wasn't a lot going on. It was very, very sedentary for much of it. But crazy illustration of what can happen if the situation is right. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, guys. There's always more to come from me in the future. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, and if you don't already, don't forget to subscribe, because why not? All helps me and, of course, by extension, the community. And if you feel so inclined, guys, do feel free to support me on Patreon. Details below this in each and every one of my videos. Look forward to seeing you next time, guys. But until next time, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.